Given that all these attacks have been happening, a lot of the U.S. Infrastructure has always been under alert. Uh, there has been a few specific laws, regulations, and recommendations by different agencies, right, that have been put together. And yesterday we had the Infrastructure Act being passed, and that also has not necessarily added anything new from a cybersecurity perspective, but obviously has enhance the funding that is available around the cybersecurity programs and water and wastewater management. Right. The first one was the America's Water Infrastructure Act. On 2000 around 2018 it was passed. It said that any utility that served more than 3,300 people had to have a specific plan, right? And I mean, a specific assessment done, and then also build plans based on the assessment. So almost all of the assessments should have been completed by October of this year. Most utilities that are serving more than 3,300 people have gone through that process. And what we're seeing is now over the next 3 to 5 years, I mean, next 3 years, there is the need to come out with the emergency response plan and actions specifically taken around the risk assessments. A lot of this is also being funded by the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, which is essentially a loan. So what happens is the DWSRF is there for a lot of things, but mostly around infrastructure renewal, infrastructure enhancement. But DWSRF also allows, can be availed for cybersecurity programs, specifically around risk and resilience assessments. These are state-run funds, so or the EPA also the EPA does provide some coverage over this, saying that hey, if any utility wants to basically go back, especially around water, want to ask for risk and resilience assessment training, cybersecurity training, any enhancement on their equipment infrastructure, they can tap into these funds. Many of these funds run into millions of dollars. For example, in Texas, it's close to $63 million this year, and Colorado is about $22 million. Almost every state, based on the size, has a lot of things going. I mean, a lot of money allocated that can be tapped in. All right. In terms of their recommendations, AWWA's G43014, which is the security practices for operation management around water, has some sections around how cybersecurity should be implemented, but it's largely broad strokes without getting into too much of details. The EPA, however, has come out with a cybersecurity brief for states, which has a 10-point action checklist that needs to, that they recommend be in place, right? Especially around the fact that we're talking, and they will be looking for that information and how we are executing on that information when it comes to grants around DWSRF.